visit the life of a magazine or celebrate the life of a magazine. Born in June 1981 and died in September 85. My type of magazine, because it's all about hardware, or mainly about hardware, which is where I'm interested. Not really a programmer. Love putting bits and pieces together. Let's have a look at this then. What's in the 1981 June edition? You've got classified adverts. You've got the Acorn Atom, £120 plus VAT plus postage and packing in kit form, or if you want the whole thing, then you can have it for £150. And it seems to have a colour encoder for graphics for another £21. Came a cropper with the Acorn Atom when I tried to update some for people. Thought you just had to stick the RAM in and it'd go, but no, the power supply wasn't big enough and therefore they started failing. Transam, don't really remember that. Then of course you've got your radio cassettes. Oh, look at that. Radio cassette for £19.95 and a watch for £24.95, a Casio. Then Microtan. I had a couple of their boards, just enough to get a system working, but never really did anything with it. Just more interested in playing with it than doing anything. Tangerine were the people that made that. You also had, of course, Apple and Apricot. Cassette recorder. Wow. Stereophonic player. Oh, maybe it's not even a recorder. Just actually a player. Oh, and then CB, Citizens Band Radio. Wow, that was something back in the day. Bistable, worst case design. Oh, right. Should have read that. I used to do a lot with transistor bistables. New signals for telephone lines. Back then, of course, you didn't have your internet or anything. Education and training in electronics, and they're the TRS 80 model 3, quite something that. And then, oh, look at this, new Hall effect devices, nowadays of course very popular due to the fact they work with magnets used in a lot of your motors in your disk drives and things. And Marshalls, great deals. And oh, look at this, making the choice, deciding which home computer you actually wanted. So we've got an Apple, a Sharp, and is that a Tandy or something? All these different ones. And then human voice and speech. Oh, that is brilliant, isn't it? Just absolutely superb. Back then, looking at human voice and speech. Jobs versus microchips. Ah, look at that. Voice activated typewriters by 1983. That was a bit futuristic. Can't even get one to work now. And then a couple there, who are they? A couple of young geezers, aren't they? They were something to do with that computer, I think, called Apple. And another computer over here, Video Genie. Seem to come and go, like so many of them. Ah, look at that. Flat screen TV from a Mr. Sinclair. Wow, that was 1981. Of course, you've got your Watford Electronics selling individual components, individual transistors. Look at that list of transistors. And oh no, they're not. They're all TTL chips. Oh, right. Transistors are down here. All those different transistors. And also, oh look here, yeah, a new Sinclair ZX81 personal computer kit, $49.95, complete. Of course, what it doesn't tell you is about whether it includes VAT or not, but certainly $2.95 packaging on top of it. So, brilliant that was. Yep, shows you there the kit inside. Whether they actually had them or not at that time, well, don't know. And their buy-pack, I used to buy from them. They used to be a good price, the buy-pack. And of course here again, your Video Genie being advertised. The brains. A 16K of RAM and 12K basic. Wow, a TRS-80 level 2 software compatible, whatever that means. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that was the first one. And then if we go to the last one, here we have building on the QL, of course. Is that one of Sinclair's sort of jobs? Fascinating. On the back then you've got is it a turtle? Is it a robot? Is it a buggy? Yes, it's 02. So this from a company called Maplin, which, like the electronics and computing, has died. Oh. So many memories, so much going on. Oh dear. Still got little ads in there. Computing classified ads. Weather satellites. Fed up with space invaders. Watch live satellites on your BBC Micro. Wow. And here they had their special offer, Experimenter ROM, even though this was the last issue. And design your own ROM so that you could put it into the BBC Micro with its sideways ROMs. Nice idea that. And then going online with the QL. Wow. And database. And then we have the RoboBit Stick 2 tunes into the BBC. Wow, and look at all that. People used to actually type that stuff in. Masses and masses of typing to put into your computer. Always seemed to go wrong. Then you got to save it on cassette, and oh look, we've got the Atari ST here, oh, back in the days. And then Memotech, and this then, you could actually make it so it became a Spectrum. Well, why not buy a Spectrum? And then Amstrad Sound Systems, oh yeah. There's a robot, and more robots, and blank discs, 5 1/4 inch, wow. And then another one of your computers, the Dragon. Oh, and in this case it's a 6809 processor, and they're going to hook it up to the BBC. There's a second processor. Wow, yeah. Oh, and look at that, look. They're low-cost acoustic couplers. No just plugging in to get on the onto the, well, it weren't the internet in them days, was it? Just plugging in to get onto your telephone line, because they were all sealed in. No plugs where you could get a new phone and plug it in. They were all hardwired, and so you had to have a acoustic coupler to be able to get online. Oh, another one of those programs that you had to type in that took days to do and never seemed to work. Oh, and another, oh right, split-second timing. Oh, now this is what I've been looking for. This is using the RS423 on the Beeb, which wouldn't work for me. He's got it really simple there. Well, I'll have to try that, see if that'll work for me. And of course, lots of other things. Oh, and another one here, or is that the same thing? Proceed to plot. Simple plotter procedures for the BBC Micro. All right. I've got a plotter that I want to try out sometime. I'll have to try that. And then drive control for people who are updating to things. And then here, this is what this magazine morphed into: electronics and computing. Whether they thought there were too many electronics magazines and so they just wanted to get into computing age, not to be confused with computer age, which I think was an American back in the, well, late 1970s, I think it was. I think that died as well. I don't know, maybe it's still around. Gem still flawed on Atari ST, oh dear. And then teletext adapters for your BBC machine. Oh. And we've still got Watford there coming along, advertising mainly things for the BBC on this page though. And the page before, oh, they've still got their transistors up there, look. Still pushing transistors and TTL chips down there. So they moved on. Alright, those were great days and great magazines, but obviously doomed to failure. However, the computing and electronics didn't die childless, because it had a baby called Your Robot, which came out in March 84. Well, no, it didn't. It came out in April 84, I assume, because this is issue 2. I haven't got issue 1, nor have I got the electronics and computing that this came from. But this sort of goes through robots, present, past and future, robots in America, the history of robots, control with a thing called Beastie, which just looks like it's a servo controller device, using there to control Lego, and there's the breakdown of the servo. Input output port for the Spectrum, obviously something you needed if you were going to control things with your Spectrum. And then the fourth robot, another one of these designs. Oh, and there, look at that. That then is the gearbox from what? Oh, what was it called now? Oh, Big Track, that was it, Big Track. This was the gearbox from Big Track. It was clever because it had magnets inside it to try and make it go in a straight line, so that the two motors were tied together by magnets and it should have gone in a straight line. Ah, Big Track was great. And of course every man and his dog was designing their own sort of 6502 micro really not a difficult thing to do at the time. Even I managed to build one, my own version of it. People there pumping these out so that you could do control and things with them, based basically on the Acorn System 1, or Kim, I suppose it was, the American, one of the first 6502 boards, demonstration boards or whatever. Never had a Kim, they were mega books, but got into the Acorn System 1. Never used it for much, like, but more interested in the hardware. So in March 84, Your Robot was a pull-out from electronics and computing. But by October 84, it was included, free inside, Your Robot inside. So if we go to find the start of that, so here somewhere, features, so it must be after that. There, Your Robot, October 84, included into your computing, again with your Lego bits and pieces and robots past, present and future at the Victoria and Albert. Then all your plugins for your Spectrum, so you could do all sorts of things with it. And then build your own low-cost turtle. Once again, it seems it's using Lego. And once again, adverts for robots. There's another robots, real life. Robotics with their robot arm. Wow. Oh. One there, £1,725, including power supply. Wow. And then Fisher Tech robots. Of course, Fisher Technic was quite popular on the continent, not very popular here. I do have some Fisher Technic in the loft, but never use it. It's that sort of thing. And then interface, all right, Pilot 1 with its crane, and down here, Pilot 1. Car crane, £51. Wow, £51 for that. Oh, all sorts of stuff here. But then we come back to the actual magazine, Commodore Split. You could split the screen on the Commodore. All these different things. Extending QL Super Basic. Interfacing techniques. Operation of shift registers in the BBC. Oh, wow. All these super things. EEPROM simulator. Oh yeah, I built one of those. Not too sure if it worked or not, or why I built it, because I never really wrote any EEPROMs. But there it is. Maybe I used it on my things. Wow. So all this stuff. And this Techomatic then, selling all the same sorts of things as Watford. Computer desks. Portmaster, being able to control your ports on your BBC. Business systems, complete business packages. Wow. MSX News. And then Tangerine has a 6809 add-on board. Oh, all these different things. And then ComputerNet launch at the Personal Computer World Show. Wow, yeah. And then another one, Rapid Electronics. Oh, they were all there, and we've still got Watford again with all their bits and pieces. So after looking at this then, seemed that your robot had died by January 85, as I can't find it in there. So once again, another magazine, a Your Robot, set out with great intentions as a spin-off, but died. Another robotics got me into looking at other robotics magazines, Practical Robotics. Now this says it's the exhibition issue, which has me confused because I thought there were only 4 of these. So this was the first European Personal Robotics Conference and Exhibition. Well, that was in July 85. So I wonder if this was in place of the July-August edition of Practical Robotics. Because as far as I could see, Practical Robotics only had 4 issues. So we have a complete guide, but as far as I can work out, I have the May-June, I don't have July-August, I do have September-October and November-December, and I assumed the exhibition issue was another one, but maybe that was July and August. Computing Age, which the electronics and computing morphed into, that didn't last long. Can't find out when that passed away, but I never had any of those because computing magazines, there just seem to be so many. But yeah, a great look back, nostalgic, looking back. Not quite what the Likely Lads song said, the only thing to look forward to is the past. But definitely it's great looking back, see what came and what went. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Bye now.